start again. It's a rich
What's up, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Chicago Bulls and Indiana Pacers game reaction. The Chicago Bulls traveled all the way from Canada to Indiana, flight delays and all. And with that being said, a really positive and really strong offensive game for the Chicago Bulls to secure a victory on a second night of a back-to-back. A really strong performance and a very important win for the Chicago Bulls. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today. Who is your player of the game and your overall thoughts and opinions on how the game was played. Now, we won this game 122 to 115, and many people might say, how is the win against the Indiana Pacers a really strong win for our season? The Indiana Pacers are currently struggling and the Chicago Bulls are currently first in the Eastern Conference. Well, to the answer to that question, a lot of stars were out for this game on both sides for the Indiana Pacers and for the Chicago Bulls. For the Bulls, obviously, we had Zach LaVine and Kobe White not playing in this game. Obviously, with other guys like Lonzo and Caruso that won't be here for a few weeks, with Derrick Jones Jr. as well. We had a lot of guys out today, fair to say, and we still managed to find a way to win the game. Obviously, for the Indiana Pacers, it was the very similar situation, and you have to give full credit to the Pacers for continuing their fight to try and make sure this game was as close as it could possibly be. They put up one hell of a fight. They had Miles Turner out, they had Sabonis out, they had Malcolm Brogdon out. A lot of guys out for the Indiana Pacers as well. It's not an easy time for them currently, and they didn't really have a center presence in this game. Normally, when you see the Indiana Pacers, you're thinking this size is going to absolutely overwhelm us. They got Sabonis in the paint. They got Miles Turner in the paint. Two massive guys. Two guys that can probably protect the rim like it's nobody's business. Obviously, Sabonis isn't a perimeter threat in terms of defense, but when you come to attacking the paint, those are the best guys you could possibly put out there. They have phenomenal size, and it's given us problems all season. The Indiana Pacers in total have given us problems all season. We've seen some guys really struggle against this team, but nevertheless, we walk away with the win, and we walk away winning the season series against them. That's all you can really ask for in terms of the situation. Our offense was really strong today, and a few players had some massive steps up to make sure that we got this win in total. Some of these guys' games that I look at, I truly can't believe that's what I'm seeing as a Chicago Bulls fan from some of these players. It was an unbelievable offensive game, but the key to this game, or for our weakness, was once again the defensive end. The defensive end has been our weakness for a long time now, and it's not looked like it's changed in this game. Of course, the Indiana Pacers were very short-staffed, and pretty much LeVert was the only guy to really focus on in terms of their team, in terms of someone who was going to try and stop us from winning this game. But LeVert nearly dropped 50 points on us, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a few guys throughout the course of the years drop 40 to 50 points on us to take wins away from us, and this could have happened again if all things went wrong for the Chicago Bulls. If we didn't see a game from DeMar and from Vucevic and from Ayo, from Javonte, all these guys contributing the way that they did, we would have lost this game. Every single one of those guys' contributions meant a lot to the Chicago Bulls. But we still need to find ways to pick it up defensively. We need to learn how to be a good defensive team without our best defenders on the court. It's a really hard process to go through, and some of these guys are not naturally gifted defensively, but there has to be a way for us to continue to focus on that end, because we've got really tough competition ahead of us. We did end up winning this game, second night of a back-to-back, so in any regards, you take that win and you're very, very happy with it. But with Philly coming up in the next game, with Phoenix coming up in the next game, these are two incredibly tough teams off of another back-to-back that we have to look forward to. So if we're going to have a chance to win one or both of those games, defensively, we need to improve. That's the only really bad situation I have on this game, because I thought rebounding, we were terrific in this game. Obviously, again, we had the mismatch. Their center was 6'5", and Vucevic is 6'10". That's a really big size advantage for Nikola Vucevic. And both centers on this team played unbelievably well. But Vucevic was truly outstanding today. And I think, again, He was the go-to guy, and he's the main reason why we won the game. He was incredible. But you got guys like Ayo moving the ball, DeMar DeRozan doing his thing. It's a real well-rounded team effort. And with that being said, let's look at those individual performances, starting off with DeMar DeRozan, who had 31 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. I talked about guys not exactly having the best of games in terms of efficiency, and I was mainly focusing towards DeMar DeRozan. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure in most of the games against the Indiana Pacers, DeMar DeRozan has struggled when it comes to efficiency, yet he's still finding ways to get that 31 points, get those 7 assists, find teammates open, and just trying to move the ball as well in terms of his scoring. So, look, it's not the best game from DeMar DeRozan, but he's still dropping 31 and 7. That's an MVP caliber player not playing at his best and still bringing up big numbers for the Chicago Bulls. You can't really ask for much more, and every single one of those points and every single one of those assists, the steals, the blocks, was well needed for this team. And look, he might not be playing his best basketball against the Pacers, but that's the will to find a way to win. Where there's a will, there's a way. DeMar willed his way to a good performance, to a good game, and DeMar willed this team to a win at the end of the day with the fellas behind him as well that also stepped up in big ways. Ayo Dosunmu, I mean, what more can you really say about this man, ladies and gentlemen? He had 15 points, 14 assists, 2 steals in this game, 6 from 9 from the field, 2 from 3 from the three-point line. A ridiculously strong game from Ayo Dosunmu. I can't understand how this guy was not picked in the first round. And it's, again, another situation where teams are looking at what Ayo is doing, and they're probably kicking anything really just to say, how did we not get this guy on our team? But he's on our team now, ladies and gentlemen. Strong dunk to end the game, and it goes to show the fearless attitude that he has when the game is kind of on the line to go through a pick and roll and posterize or dunk on 2 people in this game to win the game for us pretty much. The dagger, it's a sensational feeling, and to the 14 assists as well. I mean, look, a lot of people didn't expect to see this side from Ayo so quickly. The point guard side, the assist numbers, of course, the points tally. He's been doing a lot in terms of points for a while now, and we know he's a very efficient guy in terms of shooting. So I think many people could have seen him having nights where he gets to 20 points and the 15 points like he did today. But the assists has been consistent now. He's got 2 games with 10 plus assists. He got an 11 assist game, and now he has a 14 assist game. So a very, very easy game in terms of assists for Ayo Dosunmu. Of course, passing to Vuce was the main contribution for a lot of his assists. But nevertheless, that's what he does, ladies and gentlemen, and that's now becoming what we expect from him. An unbelievably strong player. I'm just so happy that he's here. I say it every single game, because every single game, that's what he makes me feel when he's on the court. Nikola Vucevic, 36 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. 16 from 21 from the field, 1 from 2 from the three-point line. I'm going to give you a spoiler now, ladies and gentlemen. Nikola Vucevic is my player of the game. 2 back-to-back nights with 30 plus points. This is probably the easiest 36 points he'll ever score in his life, because let's be honest, as great as this game was, he did have a massive size advantage, and you have to give full credit to Nikola Vucevic, full credit to most of this team for finding that opportunity to get Nikola Vucevic the ball every single time in the post and in the paint. This is the Vucevic performance I think we all want to see on a regular basis. Maybe not the 36 points. We don't need 36 points from Vucevic every night, and it's very hard to come by. But attacking the paint aggressively every single night. It may have been a little bit of a stretch considering their center is 6'5". 80% of the league doesn't have a center that can stop Vucevic in the paint, and even the height issue as well. 80% of the league is not taller than Vucevic and can't really guard Vucevic in the paint. So bombarding the paint as often as possible is the success for Nikola Vucevic. It's the way that he's going to get a lot of his points. And of course, taking the 2 to 3 threes at the three-point line and making them as well is an added bonus. But it shouldn't be the main source of his points. I'm really intrigued to see what he could do against Joel Embiid, because he's had a really good 2 weeks of basketball now. it's becoming a little bit more consistent out of him. If he could do that against an MVP caliber player in Joel Embiid, maybe he's got me convinced that this is the new Vucevic that we're going to be seeing for the rest of the season. I hope that's truly the case. Obviously, one game is not going to prove right or wrong on that instance, but I'm really intrigued to see how he goes in the next game as well. The next game up for Nikola Vucevic. Troy Brown Jr. had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist and 1 steal in this game. Shot 50% from the field. It's a good hustle game for Troy Brown Jr., good rebounding game. Got a couple of points in the paint and stuff of that nature. Not a bad game from Troy Brown Jr. whatsoever. It's a game in the starting lineup for him. He played 35 minutes and he did a lot of the little things that you probably didn't expect other guys to do. Troy Brown Jr. definitely did in this game, and that's kind of the common theme for him. He's a very hard-working player. He's very confident as well. He takes some shots that even I question, but sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't go in, but the confidence is there. That's all you can really ask for him. And when he's shooting 50% from the field when taking 8 shots, it's a good game from Troy Brown Jr. Javonte Green had 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks in this game. Now, at the end of the day, when it comes to Javonte Green, there are a couple of plays where I feel he got hard done by in terms of fouls. He ended up leaving the game for a timeout because he had a bloody mouth. So reality is that things could have got better when it comes to Javonte Green. Defensively, he was mainly the guy with Ayo and Matt Thomas, funnily enough, to guard Caris LeVert, and he had a tremendous game. So I can't say he was amazing defensively today, but he did what he normally does. He goes out, brings the energy, he goes and gets the steals, gets the blocks, he goes and cuts to the paint, nice dunks, gets a nice floater in the fourth quarter as well. All of those things matter towards the Chicago Bulls team, and without his contributions, once again, we do not win this game. Moving to the bench, let's start off with Matt Thomas, who had 10 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Now, Matt Thomas kind of brought that bench scoring that Kobe White was missed for in this game, but efficiency is very, very poor from Matt Thomas. 3 from 9 from the field in total, 2 from 8 from the three-point line. But again, who else is really scoring on this bench? A lot of our winning, I guess, mentality came from the starters today. There are a lot of guys on this bench that didn't have a great game today, and that's really speaks out in the stats of this game. And then you got Malcolm Hill, who had 5 points and 4 rebounds. Obviously, he is playing ahead of, I guess, guys that are currently out, like Derek Jones Jr. and stuff of that nature, Kobe White as well. So we did have a few players out in this game, and Malcolm Hill got a chance, and he did okay. Played some really good defense. I liked his hustle play. A really nice diving save on Lance Stevenson as well. That's great to see. Efficiency still needs to be worked on, but he hasn't had enough game time for me to expect solid consistency every single game. But that's something that we need to work on. Tony Bradley had 6 rebounds and 1 assist. Look, I know he didn't make a shot. I don't even think he took a shot in today's game. But rebounding-wise, that's what he was brought in to do at the end of the day. He was brought in to get rebounds and try to make sure that we can keep possessions alive because we had a massive size advantage. And I think in that area, Tony Bradley had a great game, but he has to start scoring the ball. He has to start taking shots. The confidence of Tony Bradley, it might be a little bit shy compared to what he should be in terms of his confidence level, and that's why he's not taking shots. But we had the size advantage, yet no player wanted to go to him when he was on, and he didn't really take things to himself. He always tipped the rebound out to somebody else. He never grabbed the ball and went up again, and that's what I want to see from Tony Bradley when he has size advantages over the opponent. Regardless of that fact, it's a good game from him. I'm not going to discredit what he did in this game. A really strong performance overall. Looking at the must improve, it's a really hard one to give because we did have a great offensive night, but I am going to give it to Matt Thomas. I think the efficiency level of Matt Thomas was not at its best today, but in saying that, he played 27 minutes, and I think he brought the best stats of his season for the Chicago Bulls, at least one of the better games in terms of statistics this season. But he had a bigger role today, which is why I would give him the must improve. He had a bigger role today, and efficiency just was not great for him in this game. For a three-point specialist, I don't expect 2 from 8 from the three-point line. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And obviously, as I said before, the player of the game is Nikola Vucevic. I'm really been happy with his last 2 weeks for the Chicago Bulls. And all I can ask that he can keep it up. If he can do this against Philly, he's slowly going to be changing my mind on how I perceive his season. Because he's had an inconsistent season. No one can deny that. But so far in his last 2 weeks, he's become very consistent and he's done a lot of great things in the paint. And if he can keep that up against an MVP caliber player, that's only one step closer to proving to me that he could really be the third guy on this team, first of all, and he could really be a key contributor towards our season heading into the playoffs as well. This is what we need from Nikola Vucevic. If it's a 20-point game and a 15-rebound game, that's fine. That's great from him. But as long as he's doing his damage in the paint, as long as he's getting the easiest shots available for him before he extends to the three-point line and takes shots there, then I'm very, very happy with what he does. And let's see if he can keep on doing that in the future. The Bulls' record is 33-19. We still sit first in the Eastern Conference. We have one more game to look forward to in terms of if we're going to, I guess, see Billy Donovan coach that All-Star game or not. Again, I'm bringing this up because it's the first seeded team by this time. We have one more game against the Philadelphia 76ers, which is going to be a very tough game to go through. But if we can win that game, you will see Billy Donovan coach the All-Star game, which is an amazing sight to see considering where we were from last year at the 11th seed, or wherever we were at the time, probably the 9th seed, I would say. That was my guess, all the way to the first seed in the Eastern Conference if we can stay there. And we have one more game to show that we deserve to stay there as well. It's an interesting sight to see. Philly's going to be the hardest competition we have for quite a while. They have a really, really strong center. Joel Embiid has been fantastic. And overall, they've had really good wins in terms of their season. And they've climbed their way from the last time we saw them to around the 6th seed to the 8th seed, all the way to the 3rd seed now. So they've had good stretches of games, and it could potentially get better for them if they find a way to win. We have lost twice to Philly already, so I hope the Bulls come out with a game plan and trying to be ready for that Philadelphia 76ers game, because I hope we do not lose to them a third time. That's going to be the key for the Chicago Bulls. I'm sure there's a game plan in place. Let's just wait and see if it can be well executed and we can walk out of the United Center with a win. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.